Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for coming to the High Energy Entrepreneur Radio Show on the iNetpreneur Network. I'm Donna Guinois, and I'm your host. You know, I say every week how excited I am to have my guests, but I really am. This week is really cool because today's show is all about driving profits from influence and get conversions now from social media. And I have three exceptional guests on regarding that. But before we go into that, I need three things from you. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel. Make sure you bookmark all your networking activities at ntevents.net and like us on our Facebook page. The iNetpreneur Network is where entrepreneurs, business owners, influencers, and experts come together to talk about their challenges and their triumphs, their tragedies and their impact. So let's get behind the stories and learn from their perspiration and their inspiration. I am so excited. You know, we have several things going on in Network Together. We have opened up a couple of our chapter meetings for in-person, and we still have plenty of virtual. You know, with COVID, we kind of are waiting to see what is dictated to us, of course, by the governor and how that proceeds. But we're really excited for the ones that are open. And we have our virtual mastermind. That is every Thursday with Robert W. Jones. Every Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. So that's very exciting. So lots of busy things going on in Network Together. So my first guest is none other than Justin James. Justin?
Hello, hello.
Hey, welcome, Justin. I'm so excited you're here.
I'm so excited to be here on the High Energy Entrepreneur Show, bringing the energy with us today.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited to interview you. But, you know, before I get into the interview questions, I always like to take a few minutes and brag about my guests. So Justin, you know, for those of you who don't know him, I know Justin because, of course, we're in Network together. But he is the owner and the founder of Let Your Nerd Be Heard. And he is the creator of the YouTube Impact Academy. And if you have not checked any of that out, go to his page. You'll see some information on it. It's incredible. And this is a really kind of a fun fact about Justin. He is a recovering shy introvert that never thought he'd be on camera.
So true. So true.
And look at you now.
I know. That's why I play drums. When I started, everyone had the giant drum sets and you could hide behind the drum set.
Yeah, my parents would have been like, no, I'm not having that noise in my house. I love it. Well, you know, we're going to go into some background on you, but, you know, one of the cool things is each one of you that are on the show today, Justin, have your own niche within, you know, social media. And your superpower is getting clients from YouTube. So we're going to be going into that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, let's start with a little background. Are you originally from Arizona or are you a transplant?
I've been here long enough because in Arizona, almost no one's originally from here. I've been here since I was like 4 or 5.
Okay.
So I essentially grew up here. Once Dad got out of the military, we settled here, which is where we had a bunch of family and been here ever since.
What branch of the military?
He was in the Seabees.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I'm a Air Force daughter.
Nice.
Yes. So, okay. So tell us a little about growing up. Did you start out, this is a conversation that Robert and I have quite often that's really interesting. Not everybody is just boom, knows right away from a young age they want to be an entrepreneur, right? And sometimes we go out into the corporate world and realize, that's just not working for me. So how did you start out?
So funny enough, I never planned on being an entrepreneur at all. I always thought growing up I was going to be a musician, be a drummer, and was going to tour the world. That was the dream growing up. And then I hit about 18, 19, and had some injuries where I couldn't drum. So plan B was, let's go to college, let's do something. And that happened
Right.
to be, I ended up in software development. Never planned on it, never grew up doing any of that kind of technical stuff, and just fell into that. And then I did that for almost 20 years before I even thought about entrepreneurship. And even then, it wasn't really a thought. I happened to go to an event, and it was all about get on more stages, get in front of more people. And at that point in my career, I had started doing conference speaking in the software world. And so I went there just to figure that out. And it turned out it was an entrepreneur event. And how do you grow your business by getting on more stages, which then spurred me into, let me help other people. I was already doing some coaching on the side.
Right.
So that turned into a business, which now has me helping people actually launch their YouTube channels and their podcast for business so that they draw clients in from YouTube.
I love that. And I really find it interesting, though, that that's not something that you grew up doing. So you kind of went into it right when you went into college.
Yeah, I never, ever planned on being an entrepreneur. I was always happy in the corporate world, did really well in that world, was a leader of teams that were helping make millions of dollars for companies. I loved doing the software development. And then when I went to that event, that kind of spurred me to go, well, is there more? And then that spurred that whole itch of, let's make a massive difference. Let's make a bigger difference in the world. And now I'm helping businesses do exactly that by building their authority, building their influence on YouTube, which is even more important in today's world. So many people that hadn't taken the time to build that authority and influence in their online business through the videos, they're struggling right now because people don't know that they exist. People can't walk into their stores. They can't go to have the one-on-one conversations that we used to have to drive business. It's moved to video, and YouTube even seeing a huge increase. They're up like 60% in their viewership, which is massive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's already 2 billion with a B users monthly on YouTube, even before the pandemic. And they're seeing a 60% increase right now in all that traffic. So it's massive.
Right. And here's the thing, and I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me. It is not going to back down as far as our videoing, Zooming, YouTubing, that none of that's going to back down. It's going to stay the same or go even further up.
Yeah, I totally think it's going to stay the same or go for that. 100% agree. And we've seen even live events. There's 3-day events where people are making invitations into their high-end masterminds. We've seen those go virtual. I helped run 3 events last month alone that generated almost $3 million in leads. All of those events are going online. So that stuff's not going to go away because people are realizing I can reach everyone in the world. It's not just the people that can afford to travel to where I'm at now.
Right. And so you don't have to, if you will, leave your home to do business, and you can do business everywhere. So let's jump into this a little bit. I love hearing about your journey, and how long ago did you start this?
So the specific YouTube stuff, it's about 2 years ago, and the business is about 4. So it's fairly recently that I've really hopped into business and actually making this work. Thankfully I hopped in at the right time because people are doing all kinds of video. Like, we're busier than ever right now.
Right. Timing sometimes just is everything. And sometimes you struggle with it, and sometimes you just kind of fall right into it.
Exactly.
At the right place, right time. So tell us about the, first of all, tell us about Let Your Nerd Be Heard. And then I'd like to jump into the YouTube Academy.
So Let Your Nerd Be Heard came about as a way for all of us shy, introverted nerds, 'cause almost all of us have something that we nerd about in the world, whether it's Star Wars, Star Trek, technology, health, fitness, whatever it is. We'd love to dig deep into stuff. And it's about getting your voice out there in the world so that we amplify you, your brand, and your business, and we do it through online video.
So give us some examples of that, if you would.
Oh, absolutely.
Because maybe some people out there are wanting to do this, but they're really not sure the process. So I'd love if you could explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So the process that we really go through is getting you so your business is sitting on YouTube and knowing what does your business on YouTube truly look like, figuring out how are you going to make money off of YouTube, because everyone goes, oh, it's cool just to do videos. I don't want to be a YouTube influencer. And our goal is not to make you YouTube famous. Like, YouTube famous is a whole different strategy. Our goal is get your business on YouTube and make the videos people want to see. And it works for every niche. Whether you are doing real estate, you're doing financial planning, you're doing high energy work, you're doing fitness, all of those things people are looking for. Think about all the problems that you've gone and searched for, or even simple things like food. You want to know how to scramble eggs? There's some amazing recipes on YouTube. You want to know how to get more balance in your life, how to have a morning routine. Anything you can think of is on YouTube. So we help you figure out where is your true niche, and then help you actually record with what you have. You don't need to go buy big fancy cameras. You don't need to go buy big fancy microphones and lighting. If you have a cell phone, which almost everyone has a cell phone with a camera these days,
right?
That's enough to literally get you started. And it's all the work that I talked about before the camera, that research to get you there so you make the right videos to get views. You record with your cell phone initially, do some simple editing, and then it's about knowing how to market it so that you're not doing a publish and pray. So many YouTube people, when they start out, they do the whole Field of Dreams and they publish it, and then they just hope somebody will show up. And the reality is, if you don't put any work in, nobody shows up. Just like in business. If you just start a business today and you don't tell a single person that it exists, nobody knows your business is there.
It's the door. They don't know it's open.
Yeah, you got to let people know your door's open. And so we have a whole process in the YouTube Impact Academy that we walk you step by step up from that, whether you have a channel today, okay, and you want to grow it, or you don't even have a channel. Many of the people and clients we work with, they don't even have a channel yet. They're not even thinking about YouTube yet. And then we talk to them and go, it's the #1 video site in the world. It's the #2 search engine in the world. 80% of consumers will go and look for videos to make a buying decision.
Right.
And all of a sudden we're like, oh, I can be on YouTube. And it's like, yes, for your niche, you can absolutely be on YouTube. I have yet to find a niche that doesn't make sense to be on YouTube at all. Everyone, it makes sense to be on YouTube.
So what you're saying is anything and everything that you do can be on YouTube and make money off of it.
Absolutely. And you just have to have a strategy for that. And we help you get that strategy. Just like in business, you don't go, I help every single entrepreneur in the world with every single problem that they've ever encountered, and I can do all of it.
Right.
Well, when you do that, nobody shows up because nobody knows what is your expertise.
Right.
Same thing with YouTube. You have to niche yourself down into what is your expertise in there. And that's how you ultimately get views, and how you make this work for you is having those right strategies in place, and having someone like myself and my team that can help you get those strategies and work with you to get the strategies, get the recordings, figure out how to do all the promotions. Because it is simple to do once you know the process, but not knowing the process makes it seem daunting and makes it seem overwhelming. And we take that overwhelm away.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, Justin, but don't you and your team also help with whatever that niche is that they're doing? You help with those words that hit that key target.
Absolutely. We will help you, and we teach you some of that stuff. So all the research that I'm talking about, we teach you how to actually do those pieces. Because when you get inspired to create a video, last thing you want to have to do is try to get a hold of me or my team to go, hey, I'm thinking about this topic. Can you help me figure out the right wording and everything? We're going to teach you that piece. When you're inspired, you can just sit down and you can spend 10 minutes, figure out what it needs to be, write your quick sticky note. We have a whole content formula for how do you actually talk on those videos? How do you hook the audience? How do you talk about your content? How do you make the right calls to actions? We teach you all of those pieces so that you can actually do that work. And then we take over and we do all the post-processing, all the editing of the video, all the publishing, all the stuff you as an entrepreneur isn't where you should spend your time. You want to spend your time working on your business, not in it editing videos. So we teach you how to get all that stuff to the record space, record it, and then we take over from there and do all the post-processing, all the editing to get it ready to reveal out to the world.
I love this because what I'm hearing is that you are in a way, but you teach it as well to your clients, but you become that virtual assistant in this particular area so that then they can go forward and work their business.
Absolutely. We want to make you successful, not depend on us for those pieces. Use us as your outsourcing video editor. Use us as your outsourced video strategist. But we're not going to be there 24/7 with you to go, oh, I got motivated and it's 2 a.m. At 2 a.m., I'm probably going to be sleeping. But that shouldn't stop you from being able to record that video, being able to know, how do I actually get a good video, and how is that topic relevant to my audience, and what specifically are they looking at? Because many times we go, I want to research a topic, or I want to do a topic. One of them we did for our channel was why you need a YouTube channel for your business in 2020. We're like, cool, that'll actually rank really well. And then we went and looked at the tooling and went, oh, that ranked at 9 out of 100. Ultimately, we did a little more research and went, oh, it's just the wording. Now it's, you need a YouTube channel, not why you should, not how to create one. People were looking at, do I need one? So that bit of research took that 9 all the way up to 60 out of 100 and put it in the good category that it has a good chance to actually rank for people to find it when they search. We teach you how do you do that, all that research, and that research only takes 15, 20 minutes at most to do that research, but knowing how to do it's the key.
Right. That's the key. And, and I like this because, that old saying, you can give a hungry man a fish, or you can teach him to fish and he'll never be hungry. Exactly. So, that's what you're doing. But the other thing is that because you teach everybody when they go through your academy, that it doesn't matter where they are. If they're traveling, then they have those tools to put a video together right there, wherever they're at, for whatever it is that they're doing, and make it work.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, YouTube's about building your authority, building your influence, because people are looking for that to decide, do they want to work with you? We all do it. Every time we find somebody new, some new business we've not heard of, we go to Google. We search for them. Google brings up YouTube videos if you have them, brings up websites, brings up other places to get that social proof. And then the first thing we click on, because the videos are above even the Google ads, you click on the video and you go see, what's the energy of the person like? Are they too high energy? Are they going to wear me out? Are they boring? Is the content good? Like, could I actually gel with them? Do I want to work with them? And if the answer is yeah, they're going to then figure out, how do I go and contact Donna? How do I contact Justin? How do I contact Kara? And then it turns into, they're off YouTube and into your funnels, into your email list, into your nurturing sequences. And then your normal business process starts to take over to then nurture them into an actual client.
See, that is what is so beautiful. And I love that that's your niche. I know that, you and I've talked and you've helped me with a few things here and there. And it makes sense. So for somebody like me, who I need to explain to me, right, for it to make sense. And that's what you guys do. You do it step by step by step to make it all make sense in the end.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what our whole goal is, step by step. Even if you're tech challenged, even if you have fear of the gear, most people kind of fear the whole gear. How do I set the camera up? How do I set up a microphone? What's the right angle? We take care of all of those worries for you to help you get past those.
Get comfortable.
Exactly. And realizing that we all have to start messy. All of our first videos, they are going to be our worst videos. There's no doubt about that, because you're going to get better over time. You're going to make a 1% improvement with every one of your videos. And all of us can make those 1% improvements. It doesn't take a lot to do 1%. So you keep getting better every single video. Then you look back and you're like, yep, I started, now I got clients coming in. But it's that starting messy, starting with what you have, and incrementally getting better 1% at a time.
And I love the fact how you word that, Justin. You 1%, and then it's not insurmountable. Well, listen, we only have a few minutes left. And one of the things I like to ask all my guests is, what do you do when you wake up in the morning? Because as an entrepreneur, we don't wake up always super happy and, full of energy. And sometimes we just have, days that are kind of just kind of down, what do you do? In just a quick sentence or two, what do you do, Justin, to bring yourself out of that?
So I actually start the day before. It actually starts the night before. I end my days with a success journal that I have where I write down the 8 things that I'm grateful for or for the day. Then I write down some stuff like, who do I need to connect with to be successful? What do I need to learn? Or what is my task list for the next day? And then I write my whole mission statement. Who do I want to be in this world? So that sets my energy right even before sleep. And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm already thinking about who do I need to connect with? Who's that person I want to be? And that helps guide my whole day, helps me get over those times where I do wake up and I'm like, I'm kind of tired today. Do I really want to get up and work? It's like, hey, I already know who I want to be. That means in order to do that, I got to get up. That helps drive me every day to get to that.
I got to get up and get going.
Yeah, I got to get up and get going. And that mission statement and having that gratitude gets that whole energy and the mindset right, that you start thinking about you're like, yeah, I've got a good life. I love the stuff that I'm doing. And I want to impact even more people in this world and have other industry leaders be called my friends. And like all those things that go into my mission statement and who I want to be, that pumps up the energy every morning. You're just like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
I love that. I love that. I tell, as a high energy coach, I tell my clients, if you're in a bad place, you got to own that for a minute and kind of reckon with it. But then you don't have to live there. So find that place that's good for you and bring back your ROE, return on energy.
Love it.
Well, Justin, thank you so much. I can't thank you for the wisdom that you have given everybody and knowing that you are a landing board for help and getting their business successful.
Thank you for having me. It has been a pleasure chatting with you. And I hope to see everyone in the YouTube Impact Academy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Folks, is Justin not just super knowledgeable about YouTube? I'm telling you, if you have any questions, you know what? Reach out to him on Facebook. If you're not sure, I will do a warm introduction for you. Justin is just got the biggest servant's heart. So our next guest, I'm super excited, is none other than Kara Jensen.
Hello.
Welcome, Kara.
Thank you.
I am so excited that you're here with me today. Excuse me.
I'm excited too. So
before we go into the interview, I like to brag about my guests a little bit. Okay. So
I'll let you do that.
Yes. So Kara is the owner of Trifid Online Marketing, and she helps business owners hire Kara to revolutionize their marketing. Okay, revolutionize their marketing. And now this is a fun fact. Kara has a degree in automotive technology and rebuilt a 1970, was it 70? Mustang that was blowing the doors off all kinds of cars.
Yeah, I didn't have any boyfriends.
Oh my gosh. No, that's funny. That's funny. So, well, I'm excited. Your superpower is really revolutionizing marketing for businesses. And it's huge at any time, but I really feel it's even bigger now that so many people are working from home. So first, tell us a little bit about your background. Did you grow up here?
I did not. I was born and raised in a very, very small town in northern Indiana. And I moved out here in 95, but I left California when I graduated from high school. I turned 17. I did not like it back there. I did not have a very happy childhood. It was not a very encouraging place. And I just packed my car and never looked back, and I moved to California. and kind of restarted a whole new life there, and was there about 10 years before I moved here. And yeah, so it's been a journey.
Well, that is incredible. I love that. So tell us, Robert Jones and I talk about this often, that not everybody is born with that entrepreneurial hat. I actually started for myself as an entrepreneur probably when I was 6 years old, because I could rake the leaves, get 25 cents, a little box of Cracker Jacks, right? But I went into corporate America, and, it just wasn't 100% for me. What about you?
Well, when you first started the question, I was thinking, yeah, I was not entrepreneurial at all. But I suddenly remembered I was in Campfire Girls as a kid, and I sold the most boxes of candy in my group than anybody else. I had so many beads on my vest. But yeah, I grew up thinking the only thing I could do is either be a waitress, work in a factory, or work on cars. And that's actually why I ended up going to college to do that. It was the only thing I knew how to do. And then that all just kind of changed once I left Indiana, and I got into corporate, and I was climbing the ladder at a manufacturing company. I was doing really well, and even had the favor of the president of the company there. But he was kind of stepping down, and he hired a couple of managers, and they all had a view that women were typists. They answered the phones, they did filing. And so I was just cut off right there. And that's when I started thinking, I got to do something different. And when I moved out here, I got into real estate. And that's when everything changed, when I realized, I can own my own business as a realtor. And everything changed after that.
I love that. And, unfortunately, it's not, I don't think that way so much anymore, but I know we're approximately the same age. It definitely used to be that way in business. Very, very few women were high up in the corporate world. Yeah. So that's interesting. So what made you go from real estate to owning your own company?
Well,
where you do now with marketing?
Yeah, I was an independent agent for a long time, and then I had been hired on as a managing broker for a couple of big companies, and I trained agents. So my favorite part, even as a realtor on my own, was marketing. The brokerages and the title companies would give you templated stuff, but they were all the same. So every real estate agent was sending out the same stuff. And,
okay.
Yeah, and I got tired of it. So I learned how to build my own website. I learned how to do social media, and I started getting 5 to 6 leads a week on what I had built, and then I started building them for other people. And so I actually had a little side business going as I was a managing broker of building websites and doing some marketing for my clients who had small businesses. And then when the real estate market crashed, I got out, and I really enjoyed doing the marketing. So I created a marketing business.
That's fascinating to me, Kara, because you actually were in a successful business, building another business by accident.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you were kind of building it by accident.
And it was a lot of fun. It was more fun than real estate.
Well, obviously, because here you are still doing it. Right. So let's dive in. Tell us a little bit about how your marketing programs work and how you bring that revelation for business owners.
Well, what I do is I really work closely with a business owner and find out exactly what are their goals, where do they want to take their company. And I work also with the employees. So if you have people answering the phone or sitting, filling orders and shipping, or if you have sales reps, I want them all involved in the whole marketing process. And then that way, everybody's on board and knows what's going on. So if somebody calls in or mentions a marketing campaign, something, a message, they know what it is and they can respond to it. And that stems from that manufacturing company I was with. One of their big things, if they would market for their salespeople, it was like, we will set the standard of customer service against which all others will be measured. But they never trained the customer service department, which at that time I was in. And I thought, okay, this is wrong. If you're going to do these things, you've got to have the whole company involved. And when you have your company involved and your employees involved in the marketing and the growth of the company, they feel part of it and they're going to be more loyal and dedicated to it.
Absolutely. It's really hard to, to teach people how to do anything if they're not trained.
Exactly. And you can't rely on them to, they're the face of your company when they're off hours and they're at a ball game or they're at a party or they're going to the grocery store. If they're on board and they're just as loyal, as they overhear somebody, they're going to refer you too.
Absolutely. And if there's no training and there's no love, if you will,
Exactly.
that love of job, then you're at a stalemate as a business owner.
Exactly.
I love this.
So we sit down, we figure out who's your market, what's the best way to reach them, what's the best channel, and then what are some messages, and we make sure you're outside of the norm of what everybody else is doing. So you're not going to look like every other realtor, every other AC company, or every other whatever that's out there, so that you stand out and people they're going to remember you. When this issue comes up, they're going to remember your company.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then what is now do you work with single entrepreneurs or do you only work with larger businesses?
I work with a single entrepreneur. I work with, real estate agents. I've got a massage therapist. I've got a couple of professional groups, organizations that I work with. So it kind of runs the gamut. It's just those people who have some sort of service, mainly services. I haven't done too many products. It's usually products is like a side offering of the particular organizations that I work with.
Great. And then what are your key marketing, without giving away the whole book, but I'd love for our audience to know, what are some of the key things that you find that maybe that's why they've hired you, that you need to fix? What are some of the common mistakes?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is I can put technical things into terms they understand. So if somebody is talking about, I just don't understand how social media works and why I should be on there, or what I should be doing on there, I can explain to them that, look at it as a networking event where you go to a party and you're talking to people. It's a conversation. And one of the things I was able to do, this was way back in the beginning when I was just building websites, is I brought in a newspaper and I said, this is a website. And then I fold it down. It's like, this is scrolling below the fold. And they had a little sticker on there. It was an ad. And I said, this is a pop-up ad. And here, and they really understood it and how that worked and then how to reach people and talk to them. And that's what I'm always told by my clients, like, oh, you make this so understandable. Now I get it.
I love this. This. And then what are the biggest challenges that people have in marketing that get in their own way?
They've tried it on their own, and since it didn't work, they think marketing doesn't work.
Interesting.
Yeah. So my competitor did this and I did it and it didn't give me any results. Like, well, it probably didn't give your competitor any results either. And it's just throwing spaghetti on the wall and doing something because somebody else is doing it. That usually is what I find people get in their own way with, is like, well, they try one thing and then it doesn't work anymore, or it didn't work, so they don't think anything will work.
Interesting. Because one shoe doesn't fit every person, right?
Right. And you may have put on the wrong size shoe.
Absolutely. I love that analogy. I love that. That is awesome. Well, let me ask you, what is the favorite part, and just a quick sentence or two answer, what is the favorite part for you when you've taken the client from A to Z?
I love the creativity and coming up with the ideas and implementing them. But then when, they come to me and they're just so happy with, wow, I didn't think this would work. This was so outrageous, but wow, look at all the business.
Worked.
It's that, yeah.
I love that. I love that. That is what makes, that's what makes it worth it the next day is those driven results that you've helped your client with.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. So we have just a few minutes left here. And I like to ask my guests this. Kara, as an entrepreneur, just as a person, we don't always wake up happy, it might be a beautiful day, but life happens to us all. What do you do to get yourself out of that funk when you wake up?
Very similar to Justin is, who do I want to be? I ask myself that in the morning. It's like, for what I want to accomplish, who do I want to be? Who do I need to be to accomplish that? And also just to realize, I have feelings. I am not my feelings. So if I wake up and I'm a little depressed or I'm a little tired and I don't feel like doing anything, I realize, you know what? I am not my feelings. I have feelings. I put my feelings in a box. I'm like, okay, there they are. I don't feel like doing it, but this is what I really want to accomplish. And these aren't going to get me there. Put the feelings aside and be who I need to be.
I love that. As a high energy coach, I tell my clients, being in a grumpy mood isn't always a bad thing, but consistently being grumpy or not happy in the morning is not a good thing.
Right.
And that you need to find that separation of self, right? Mm-hmm. And some days it's okay to own that little bit of, just don't feel 100% today. But don't own it for very long, because it will set the tone for the rest of your day. And then you won't have any ROE, return on energy.
I like that.
So what do you do when you take off your entrepreneurial hat to recharge so that you can come back to the table and revolutionize people's marketing?
I get outside. I am not an indoor person. I garden, I hike, I like to build things. I have a little cabin up in near Sholo that I'm building. And I've got to be outside and doing something.
Oh, I love it. I love it. My kind of person. I'm an outdoor girl too. So, Kara, I can't thank you enough, because right now in this time in our world, having a proper marketing technology behind you, somebody who knows and understands, is huge for any business. Yeah. And you offer that. Tell everyone real quick where they can get a hold of you.
They can find me on my website at trifidonline.com. I'm on Facebook at Trifid Network, and LinkedIn, it's Kara Jensen, Trifid Online.
Awesome. Yeah. Kara, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to be here with me.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Kara. Folks, marketing. Revolutionize your marketing business. Kara is your go-to. She is just incredible. Sits down and takes time to work with everybody. Well, my next guest, I'm very, very excited, is Preston Martelly. Preston, welcome. We don't have any sound yet, Preston.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm wonderful. There you are.
Yeah, good. I had myself on mute. I was saying, yeah, the Y sometimes get people tripped up, but it's definitely Martelly. You got it right.
Yes. Well, I'm so excited you're here. But before we go into the interview, I like to brag about my guests. So hang on. I get to
hear people brag about me.
There you go. Well, I'm going to do it. So Preston is the co-founder of Java Logistics, and it's a full-service marketing agency. He helps people and businesses all over the world to grow their brand. Now, this is a really fun fact about Preston. Preston created an online business that gave him the financial freedom to take his wife and 4 children and go on a trip around the world for an entire year. Now that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So that was definitely a fun. We did a full academic year where we wanted to, we thought it would always be a good idea to be able to give the kids a year of world education. And because of the ability, and I think a lot more people are realizing it now, that you can actually work online and accomplish a lot of things done that way. So I'm pretty blessed for this industry that I work in now, and it's really around helping people.
Absolutely. So, Preston's superpower in social media is that he helps get people a steady flow of leads online using data-driven marketing. So now you are in Ontario, correct?
In Quebec.
Quebec. I thought you were in
Yes.
Ontario.
I wasn't in Ontario before.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's where I got it mixed up.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit. Are you from Canada originally?
No, I was actually born in St. Lucia. That's one of the beautiful Caribbean islands. And I came up here around age 12. Say that again?
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. You got to visit sometime.
I definitely do. Okay, so this is interesting. Now, this is something Robert and I talk about a lot, is that people are often born entrepreneurs, or sometimes we are made to be an entrepreneur because we get tired of corporate America's crap, be honest with you, because not everybody, and there are some jobs out there in corporate America that are perfect for people. It's a perfect fit. That marriage is just a wonderful thing. And then there's a lot of others that is just like day in, day out, day in, day out. Where'd you fit in all that?
Where I fit in? Well, I actually started off like a lot of people in the corporate world. I worked in a Fortune 500 company, and I think I was pretty successful there. Worked all the way through where I wanted to hit in terms of my goals. And then when I hit 30, I kind of got to the point where, there was more to it, right? I got to kind of the plateau of where I visioned myself to go. And I didn't see myself spending the next 30 years doing that. And then I ventured off into the world of entrepreneurship. At first, it was a brick and mortar type business that I went into. And I definitely learned the pros and cons of that. And I was, even though it was taken off in the right direction, I definitely knew that there was something more. And I saw the whole online world opening up, and I saw the future kind of going that way. So I made the choice to jump all into the digital marketing world. I took a lot of the experiences I had from the corporate world, which was around structures and SOPs. And believe it or not, I started off in this digital marketing world building apps. Right. So building mobile apps for businesses. And that was, think about 7 years ago. It was still ahead of its time at that time. So I found that a lot of people, even though I thought apps was the next cool thing, people are still getting onto social media. People still needed websites. So I found myself, really going down to the basics and getting people to the point where they started getting online with a website and helping them get set up on social media and so forth. And here, as things evolved, I just started adding things to my tool belt, and to get to the point where I am today, where I consider myself to be a data-driven marketer.
I love that. And how long ago did you co-found Java Logistics?
I think it's going on 7 years now. Yeah, it's about 7 years. Yeah. And
now you are based out of Canada, but you help people everywhere.
Yeah, because of what we do, I have customers pretty much all over the world that we help. And one of the main things that we saw was basically we started off just like Kara was talking before, was we build websites for people to get them started. And as much as we were able to build pretty websites and beautiful websites for our customers, 6 months down the line, when I go back and see them, how are they doing with the website? Well, it looked great. But they didn't have the engine behind it, right? So we didn't look at the next step, which is, driving traffic, which is, where I talk about with social media. That's one of those traffic sources that I definitely highly recommend people take advantage of.
Yeah, because today, it's been there for a while, right?
Yeah.
But when we got thrown into COVID, and now we have so many other things going on in our world, that it is going to rev up. It's not going to
Right.
slow down, right? So this
Yeah.
is what you do. Can you give us a little example for, now folks, I know Preston personally, but for those of you who don't know, he's just an incredible genius behind what he does. But Preston, can you give everyone kind of an example so that they know who you are a little bit with your business?
With my business? Okay, so an example of a typical customer. Well, I can give you an example that has come up at least, once or twice this week. So we often get people, business owners who come to me, and the initial feeling is they feel overwhelmed, right? Their cup is filled. It's filled to the point because, they've been told you need to post on social media every day, and they're posting on social media. And then, you got to be on Facebook, you got to be on Twitter, you got to be on YouTube, you got to be, doing images, you got to be doing this. And then it doesn't work. And then you hear that you need to be doing more of it. Right. So it's kind of counterproductive because you're trying to do more of the thing that's not working for you. Right. So usually what I would normally do is, because they come in with me with everything. They got a YouTube channel, they got a Facebook they're posting, they got Snapchat, they've got, just name it, like every platform is available out there, and they seem just completely confused. The first thing I do is I say, okay, let's stop. Give me the list of your website and all of the tools and online properties that you own. Right. As well as your top 3 competitors or top 3 people that are doing well in your industry. And it always comes back to the same thing. I streamline the website is set up in a way that it probably doesn't have what's called an online sales funnel in place. And we kind of conceptualize. I can figure it out from that quick audit that I do, or I'll ask them, what is it that you're trying to sell? What is your service or product? And then we work, we kind of begin with the end in mind. Right. You talk about the beginning of the end in mind. So what's the end goal that you want? For example, a realtor, right? I want to sell homes, right? So what are the steps that you need to go to before that? And these steps make up what's called a sales funnel, right? And from my perspective, the end of my funnel is at the point of where they get a lead. So they get a name, email, and phone number that's delivered from me, so that they can put into their engine, whether it's an email sequence or it's a phone call or a consultation. I will need to figure out how to bring customers, all of the hundreds of thousands of people that are out there, weed out the right customers for them and bring the right customers to them where they can give them their name, email, and phone number, right? So the key thing is I help customers design funnels. Right. And by designing funnels gives them a steady flow of leads that they can turn on or turn off whenever they need. Right. Because without the leads, we kind of dry up as a business. And then guess what? We can't pay our mortgage and,
right. Eat food, little things like that.
Exactly. So think of it as this one thing. So social media is one of those traffic sources that you can use to let people know about what you do, what you offer. For example, this YouTube, this video that we're doing today is a traffic source, right? Because people will hear about us, and then we'll have a few people that'll go one step further and visit my website or connect with me on Facebook, and then we can start to build relationships, see if they like me, if what I have is something that's interesting to them, and then once that happens, we can put them into what's called a funnel, right? Where we can continue to give them value. And then whenever they get to the point where the value you're giving is over their head or they don't have time to do it, then they might decide to do business with you. And it's amazing once you figure that model. That's pretty much what gave me the freedom to be able to leave confidently, knowing that I could get customers on demand from anywhere in the world. Yeah.
And so you help single entrepreneurs, businesses.
Yeah, coaches, consultants, and business owners, right? Okay. So if you have a product that you want to promote and you've actually put some thought into a marketing plan, a marketing budget, but you just need help dealing with all the technical parts of getting it done. Like, I know I need to do a webinar. I want to do a webinar because I want to sell on a screen, but I don't know how to do that. That's why I geek out. Right? You want to create an e-commerce store. right? But you don't understand, you know, the old ideas of processing and shipping and, you know, and how to get it up and running. That's the kind of stuff I love doing. I'm very comfortable in that space. And that's where I take over. I want business owners to do what they love, right? Run your business, deal with customers, grow that. I want to do the marketing, right? I want to do the marketing part of it, the technical part of it.
Okay, I love this. And then, and so they can jump in at any time and say, hey, Preston, this is great, but what about this? Can we do this? And you can keep building and adding, correct?
Exactly. So the best marketing campaigns is when we have a partnership, right? Because marketing to me was successful whenever you consider that there's an art and a science to it. So anybody who's worked with me, they've heard me say that before. There's an art and a science to marketing. The science part, I understand. That's all the technical stuff about Facebook and Twitter and setting up tracking codes and Google Analytics, all that stuff. That's the science part that I can figure. That's what I love, right? But you
lost me already.
Was that?
And that already lost me.
You see, I just start talking and then I get you lost, because that's the stuff that you need to understand and you need to do in order for your marketing campaign to be successful, right? And like you said, like I'm comfortable in that space. That's where I am. What you bring to me and what the superpower is that the customer always bring is the art, right? So, you know, who is your ideal customer? You know, what are that touch points that you know they're looking for? What's that pain point that you're solving, right? So when you do that, when you bring that to me, and then we can put it with my science part, magic happens.
It's magic. Well, and that's just it. You know, the thing of it is that nothing anybody buys ever is without emotion.
Very true.
Period. So we have a few minutes left to wrap up. And I love to ask my questions this. So Preston, you know, I know you, and every time I've seen you, you're always in a great mood, but I'm sure you have off days too. You know, we all do. We're human. What does Preston do to get out of that funk and get back into that good space so that, you know what, you can rock people's funnels and do all the science behind the scenes on their websites?
Yeah, on their website. Yeah, so it comes back to similar to what the previous two speakers spoke about. It really comes down to goal writing. I'm pretty fortunate. I'm surrounded by a group of, you know, very positive minded people. Actually, we host a weekly call on Mondays. We call it the Monday Mindset, right? And it was really designed to help some of the people on my team, and you know, just, you know, get their head in the right place on a weekly basis. But you know what, I found that I'm feeling kind of guilty because I feel like I'm getting a lot more out of this thing than I start off doing, and that kind of steamrolls into the whole week, right, for me. Right. But it really comes down to, you know, writing your goals, making your goals be so big that they transgress over the little hiccups that happen, right? So you wake up in the morning, you're having a rough day. If your goals are big enough, right, for you, that they could definitely help you, you know, get through those. Let you realize that, you know what, I got a couple hours that I gotta, you know, be to myself or have a cup of coffee, but I'll be back in my game soon. Right.
And you know, as a high energy coach, it just depends who I'm working with, but maybe if it's just a housewife, right, and kids and things aren't right, and I'm like, you know what, just take that moment to be by yourself and get in that little space and think about all the blessings and go forward. You know, you've got all these little babies and whatever those blessings are for each one. I love that. And I love the goal writing. I love that. So one more question, and this is one of my favorite ones. What do you do when you take off your entrepreneurial hat? And I know you work like horrendous hours and you're a whiz, but what do you do to recharge Preston so that you can come back and help people, help them get the funnels they need? Well, it looks like there was a little bit of freezing, internet freezing. Everybody's so big on the internet anymore. Looks like Preston actually froze up on us. So he is in Quebec. So, you know, wires do what the cable wires do. Well, you know, we're almost at the end of the show, but I found this interesting today because each and every one of these guests have incredible superpowers in social media, right? And they all come and help what we do in business and entrepreneurial world in different ways, and yet very effectively. And obviously, you know, they're heart servant people. But it was interesting. Justin, Kara, and Preston all said the same thing: write your goals, make them big, and read them every day. Do it the night before, and then look at that mission statement in the morning and get up and then take the day and run. Just take it and run and make your dreams come true. So I absolutely loved this. So I just got a message that Preston got dropped. So obviously we had some connection issue here, folks. But I was glad that we had the time with him to learn about his business as well. So, you know, Kara, owner of Trifid Online Marketing. Justin is the owner of Let Your Nerd Be Heard. And Preston Martelly is the co-founder of Java Logistics. So I'm really excited about today's show because each one of these people can help each and every one of us. We're really at the end of our show, and I can't thank you enough for being here. I'm so thrilled and so excited. And you know what? Next week, we have an entire new topic that is going to be super fun and super powerful. And it's all about different aspects of real estate. So make sure you tune in and join us. I'm Donna Quinoa. Thank you so much for being on the High Energy Entrepreneurial Radio Show with me today. See you next week. Be safe, everybody.